One of my favorite parts was isn't he dead? I've been saying that for weeks.
Isn't he dead? He's dead, right?
That guy died.
He died.
We saw that guy die.
He's dead. Yeah. They watched the same Avengers movie we did. He's definitely dead. Yeah.
Yeah. And they watched the same episode of Wandavision and they said the exact same thing that we said.
Welcome. Welcome to the ITE podcast with your host, 𝗶𝘀𝖆𝖆, and myself, Jacob
Miller.
Yeah. We might have some new music playing because we have this episode is special, yes, but the next episode will be more special because we'll have a special guest, which is our bass player from the band that we were in back in the day. And right now you're hopefully listening to a snippet of some of our old music.
Why?
Yeah. So maybe some Fallen Angel.
Woohoo!
Good times.
Nice.
And on that note, let's get into this. We're in I can't even talk. Boots and pants. Too late. I didn't do my exercises. Boots and pants. And we should get into this. Boots and
pantalones.
I always thought that was the funniest word. What coffee are you drinking today?
I think it's some Sumatra from Highland Coffee. I know where Highland Coffee is here in Louisville.
There are a few of them. Yeah. There used to be one.
Nope, just the one.
Just one? There was more.
It's in the Highlands.
There was more, right? No. What am I thinking of? No. Yeah, what's the other coffee shop?
Heine Brothers?
Heine Brothers, that's it. My bad.
A billion. There's 18 Heine Brothers in the Louisville metro area.
Excuse me. Yeah. No, I'm drinking the pod coffee, but from Hawaii. I guess I got to show this thing here. If you want to get some good Hawaii pod coffee, it comes in these little things. I don't know why.
So you do the Keurig then?
Yeah, this is a Keurig. I used to not, but I've just gotten incredibly lazy. And
gotcha.
The issue I had with Keurig was like the plastic cups or whatever. So, and these are using like a biodegradable thing. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah. Save the environment or whatever.
Yeah. Just knowing that I'm going to drink at least 3 real cups of coffee, not measuring cups, which would equate to probably 6. Since I know I'm gonna drink that much coffee, and then my wife's gonna drink about that much coffee, it just makes sense for us to make a full pot every day.
Yeah, I was doing the French press for a while, and then it's just so many things, and then having to clean the thing, and it's a lot.
You're setting yourself up for a solid 12 minutes of work.
Yeah, it's a lot. Good.
Hopefully it'll give me the caffeine stimulus to get in there with the brush, get all that stuff out.
I've been listening to some other podcasts too here recently, and I've learned something about structured water. Have you heard about this?
No.
So it's effectively like these.
Is this where you just add salt to it?
No, these coffee roasters are the ones that have made it more popular, because otherwise it just sounds woo. But effectively, these coffee roasters found out that structured water makes the coffee taste better. And so structured water is effectively like what happens to water when it's like going down a stream. Something happens to the molecules, like when it's going through the rocks down a stream, like the way that it forms together with electrons, whatever. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but supposedly just the fact that it's moving over these things and then coming back together somehow makes it actually taste better. So there are actually like structured water filters. So I'm looking to get one. So you basically just pour water through these like marbles or something. And it's supposed to, it technically makes the water taste better. This is like a fact, an observable phenomenon. So we've already gotten weird in the show, and I imagine we're going to get weirder, even though I said I just wanted to go comedy, but this show is really just opening up some weird wormholes to go down.
Yeah. It is Wandavision, which is weird. If there were ever a topic to embrace weird,
it's this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at this. So we got the Jimmy Woo and the Monica Rambeau. Hello.
We got some connections to some MCU stuff going on.
And you predicted it correctly. I
think I just read it on the internet. And they were like, hey, that sounds like it could be Randall Park. And I was like, listening back, I was like, you know what? I think it is Randall Park.
You were right in choosing the right internet rumor, which is often difficult.
Shout out to io9.com. Yeah. They're pretty on top of things. I love this. What's fun about this episode is, amongst other things, but the beginning, even before I even clicked on it, like when I'm in the Disney Plus platform,
Yeah.
and knowing how the last episode went. And then I was like, okay, are we heading toward the 80s? What kind of sitcom trope are we doing? And then seeing the title of We Interrupt This Program, I was like, oh, this is going to be a whole aside kind of episode. And I dig it. We're about to learn some stuff, about to get some answers, some much needed answers. What are you doing over there?
So Monica Rambeau technically is not a new character. We saw her in
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel as a kid, though. Yeah. So her mother apparently started Sword, which we saw for the first. So we're seeing all kind of. We got our eyes open. We got the veil lifted this episode.
Yeah, we're getting some much needed answers with episode.
Yeah, I think they should. In retrospect, it feels like they should have just released all 4 episodes at the beginning because,
No, I think the intrigue keeps you coming back.
Yeah, but I think some people were just bored.
I don't know. That's on them.
That's on them.
That's on them. Yeah, the way the episode started with Monica coming back from...
Yeah.
Woo! I was like, wait, what is happening? This is a very interesting... Oh my God. That was rad.
Yeah. It took me a second to figure out what was... I was like, what? Wait, what's happening? Oh, yeah.
Because at first I thought maybe she was being like... I thought it was having something to do with getting kicked out of Westview, but nope.
This was a flashback, yeah.
I get it. The newest Spider-Man movie, they cemented that the world is calling it people who got blipped for 5 years.
Yeah, the blip.
How is it not the snap? That's what happened.
Yeah,
he snapped his fingers.
How is it? Yeah, he didn't blip his fingers.
All these people got blipped for 5 years. No, they got snapped. Yeah, snapped away, and they got snapped back. Come on, that's a better word. It's a better word, I feel. And is that something that the MCU wants Sony to take the lead on? They're going to let Sony name the 5-year gap in half of the population's lives? I don't think that's right. You're not going to let Sony make that call. But continuity, I get it.
Maybe in the Sony universe, it's called the blip, and in the Marvel universe, it's the snap. But they call it
but they're calling it the blip.
So then it's the blip.
They're agreeing upon it. They're saying they're calling it the blip.
I got just thinking about the ramifications of this and how effed up it is that the world is so messed up because of Iron Man, Tony Stark's selfishness wanting to save his kid.
Okay,
everything is wrong because he wanted to save his kid. Like that's the only reason any of this happened.
So you're saying what they should have done was use the stones to go back in time 5 years?
They could have went back in time. He could have snapped it into the normal reality instead of whatever. Yeah. There are different.
Snap it back to the 5 years prior.
Yeah. Just snap it right back. Yeah. The time stone.
Yeah.
He did all that to save his daughter, and he ends up dying too. So I don't know, man. And if you have that power, can't you save yourself? Or what? They never really. If they tried to explain it as radioactive or whatever.
The idea that you only get one shot at it.
If you're not Thanos.
Somebody as strong as... Yeah, Thanos was able to do 2, and he pretty much was one of the strongest people ever. Right. So maybe Captain Marvel could have gotten 1.
Yeah, I feel like Captain Marvel could have got... She seems pretty much invincible. She probably could have just... Yeah, she probably could have just kept it.
Yeah. Hulk got 1, but then he was pretty much out of the mix for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Not completely.
Just
he could have gotten a second one.
Maybe I sound insensitive but if so many people's lives are going to be just totally effed up, like... Right. To save your kid. I don't know. Maybe I would probably do the same thing.
Yeah. If I had a child, I would want to do everything in my power to not snap them out of existence.
It's a lot, though, with all the issues. There's support groups for the snap or the blip.
Yeah, no, everybody's going to need some therapy. It's going to take at least, I think, 10 years to get even close to normal. And then you got the situation with Monica and her mom. She gets blipped back and, oh, sorry, your mom died 2 years ago or 3 years ago. You were gone for 2 years that your mom was around. That's awful.
The nurse handed her the exposition that we, the audience, needed. But I feel like if that was really the nurse and that shit was happening, she would be freaking out because people were popping up. You know what I mean? Because they were just been popping up at that time.
was definitely like a convenient conversation. It was necessary for the story. You can't just have like
Total madness.
if Total Madness had happened, there would be no reason to show it to us, the audience, because that's just what we would think.
And maybe there was a little bit of time before she found the doctor or whatever, but still, it seems like a nut house. People just appearing out of nowhere.
Okay, did you ever read The Stand?
Yes,
King?
when I was much younger, and I don't remember hardly anything except Randall Flagg and a virus.
There was like a chapter on the people who didn't die from the virus. They just died from all of the systems of the world no longer running. So you've got like a little kid who like falls in a well and nobody's around to hear him or something like that, you know, like that kind of thing. So it made me think of that, because how many people in Avengers Endgame, you've got the kid on the bike who's probably 12. So that means when the blip happened, he was 7. So his most formative years are happening with half the world's population being gone. And does that mean one of his parents was gone? Whatever. What happens to, like, what if mom got blipped, dad moved on after 3 years, found new mom, and then
I'm sure there was a lot of that happening. There had to be.
And then luckily Monica was sitting when she got blipped. What about people who were like sitting in a car and then that car isn't in that place anymore?
Yeah.
When 5 years later, did they get blipped back in a seated position in the middle of a highway?
They seem to all come back safely. I think that might have been part of Tony Stark's wish, because you didn't see anybody. Yeah. You didn't see anybody coming back in half in a couch or whatever. Imagine it was part of his wish for them to come back safely.
No, that wasn't Tony's snap. That was Hulk's snap.
Still, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yeah. Hulk's snap. I imagine he wished everyone to come back safely.
Yeah. Yeah, because what if you're on a plane and then now you're 30,000 feet up in the air and that plane is no longer up there and then you're just falling?
Yeah.
That would be pretty catastrophic.
Here's an easy way for this universe to break, is if you believe the Earth is spinning this fast and going around the sun this fast and all this thing this fast, then you're in a totally different location than,
You just blew my mind, man. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Hulk needed to be very specific in his thoughts about bring everybody back safely to an approximate place where they were 5 years ago relative to the Earth.
Yeah. That's like, why that logic...
You can't just willy-nilly be like, all right, bring everybody back.
Boom. Yeah.
Nope, you can't do that. You got to think it through.
I think this is where all of that breaks down, and that's why just our logic that we were raised with is so broken.
It's the genie problem of you make a wish, but you don't. You didn't think it through. It's like the movie Bedazzled, starring Brendan Fraser. All right, so we got Monica. She's back. She goes back to work at Sword, which her mom created. Way to go, Maria?
I think it was Maria. Yeah, Rambeau.
Maria Rambeau. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then random guy becomes the boss, and evidently there's a little bit of maybe perceived friction there. Not sure. And then she gets sent on this mission to work with the FBI out in New Jersey. And here's what I found interesting about this that never gets explained. He initially brings it up as a missing persons.
Yeah, somebody went missing. Yeah, it got weird. It didn't explain a few things. Like they didn't freak out and like when the car disappeared, but they freaked out when the drone disappeared. So that was weird.
Right. No, I was wondering about that with the cops, the quote unquote Eastview cops. And I think on second watch, I think they just turned their car around and drove the other way.
No, they just drove into it and disappeared.
Did they drive into it? He talks about them not.
Oh, I see.
It not wanting.
Maybe they just turned around and drove away. But either way, they just like that edit was weird. Like they didn't.
Yeah, it was a bad edit. They did not address it. They did not address it at all.
And the sign was right there. They could have been like, "What about this sign that says Westview?"
So obviously those guys are mind gamed.
Yeah.
But you know what my favorite part of this scene was? When Jimmy Woo walks up and does the magic trick to pull his business card out. Did you catch that?
I didn't catch it. That's cool. He just made it appear.
He just like hand flips and then he's like Jimmy Woo FBI
cool.
and because in the Ant-Man and the Wasp he was learning magic.
Yeah,
I was like this is the type of stuff I'm looking for here. That made me so happy to the point where I stopped, rewound it 3 seconds to watch it again because I was just so thrilled by that. That was awesome. A lot of fun.
So, assuming the cops didn't drive into the void of Westview and they just turned around, that makes more sense. Right. Why? But here's the thing. So, Wanda, this is WandaVision after all. Wanda's sphere of influence is not just inside of this dome. So, it's even her reality bubble is even affecting people outside of it, which is more awesome and more down my weird philosophy thing. And I don't want to go there now. But what's going to happen to them? They set up camp right outside of this thing. So are they all going to get mind wiped at some point?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be a mess?
Or is it because these guys have driven through Westview before? Now they are part of the mind wipe?
I hope that gets explained because that could be like a really big hole, like plot hole there. If they set up right outside of this and then don't get mind wiped, that's weird. I feel like they should all get mind wiped. Oh, this is just Eastview. What are we doing here?
I did like how the bubble looks like TV static.
Oh, yeah.
That, like, just tying that all together. Yeah, that feels nice. And then, Monica gets sucked in after her drone disappears.
Yeah, her drone looks like this. It looks totally different than the drone that's in. The drone looks like the toy I had when I was a kid. Or the toy I wanted when I was a kid, which is like the remote control helicopter type thing before drones were a thing. I used to have I had a remote control race car that I'd zip around and that was so much fun when the world, like when everything was possible. And me and my dad, my pops, we got the race car at the hobby store, drove it around, crashing into some walls, had to get another one. Those things were expensive. I feel like the shelf life on those, the shelf life on those is not long. They were expensive and delicate. They had bumpers. The steering controls. The steering controls are not up to par. No, you turn and it's just it's just way overcompensated. Yeah. It's that they want you to wreck that thing. And they want the pieces to you got to buy another one. Yeah, and the same thing with these drones. You can get a drone at Walmart for $50 or whatever. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's on the roof of your house. You're like, guess we got to buy a new drone. So this drone here actually it looks retro anyway, but it gets even more retro once it goes into the Wanda world. Is that what we're calling it? With the Wanda bubble. So call it Wanda's Vision. It's great. You should write that down. Yeah. I'm going to tell them about it. Send them an email. Yeah, and the sword logo too. That's interesting. It's like a sword in a dome, or a sword in a V, a P and a V. Oh, that's okay. Come on, get your mind out. Well, here's what I'll say: the sword represents a male, and the circle represents a female. So it's a very balanced logo. What are you gonna do? Oh, and so it stayed in color, but it transformed. So this is something that. So when whatever goes into Wanda's vision turns into something else that kind of matches the world she's in, although not 100%. So it's not full control, but it's augmented. It's something to make it fit-ish. So it looks more like a helicopter in the 1960s lands in her yard. Yeah. And less like a video drone with a camera on it. Oh, Darcy's back. Isn't that exciting? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So exciting. So we get like 3 like Marvel character connections. I was not expecting to see Darcy and was super thrilled when she shows up in the van. That's great. Yeah, as soon as I saw her, I was happy. He's a doctor now. Yeah. Congratulations on your degrees. Mm-hmm. Yep. You're a big deal. It's been I hope you paid off your student loans. I hope you got I hope this job pays good. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And turns out now she's the one with the little sword diary at the end of the first 2 episodes or whatever. So now we know who that is. The sword diary. Yeah, she's got her little watching the show. Yeah, she's watching the show, taking notes. Yeah, so now we know who that person is. We know what is up. We know what's up. We finally know 80% of what is up. Yeah, well, Wanda's vision is revealed as being a television show broadcast in background microwave radiation. Yes, where she has entrapped the town.
And then the other big reveal is the beekeeper's not a thing.
It's not a thing. Yeah.
The beekeeper was a red herring. Communism was a red herring the whole time.
Yeah, the beekeeper, he's not really beekeeper. He's got the hazmat suit.
He's just wearing a hazmat suit.
He goes through...
He's just Johnny Sword Agent.
He goes into the Wandavision, and he turns into something that would be semi-appropriate for what's going on there.
And then his little tether, the end of his tether turned into a jump rope.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yep, that was great.
What an interesting choice.
Yeah. Yeah, very creative.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's just fun. I think it's more fun than anything. When the shot originally, it was so creepy and scary. And now you realize, no, it's just Wanda having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Tangent time.
Let's do it.
Have you jumped rope lately?
Maybe about a year ago before the pandemic.
Yeah.
I did. Have you heard of 9 Round?
No.
So it's like a gym where it's a kind of kickboxing inspired gym where you do a round of workouts for, I don't know, 7 minutes, 3 minutes or something on one thing, and then you go to the next thing and the next thing.
Gotcha.
So you punch a bag and you punch another bag and kick a thing, and then you jump rope is one of the rounds. So I jump roped at 9 Round maybe a year and a half ago, and that wiped.
Jump roped or
Jumped roped.
rope? Jumped roped? Is it double? What is the past tense?
I did the jump
It's
roping.
not important.
I did the jump roping.
You did some jump roping.
And then I punched some bags, and then I punched some more bags and hit another thing and kicked and stretched and whatever, and almost died because I was totally out of shape. And then I went into this high intensity thing. I think I made it to round 6, maybe 7. I think I got to round 7, but I like half did it. And then I was so dying out of breath that before I got to round 8, I had to go sit down. I thought I was going to die. I felt like I was going to puke. I was sweating everywhere. That was nuts. I think it's a good thing they went out of business because I couldn't do it again.
Model didn't work.
No, their business model worked, but there was a pandemic. Yeah. So you don't want to go punch a bag that somebody else just punched and breathed on. So it's one of those things where we're really worried about germs, and they had to shut down. Yeah.
I busted out my wife's jump rope probably 9 months ago, 10 months ago, something like that. I was doing like the treadmill pretty hard, and a buddy of mine was like, oh man, I'm doing jump rope now, and that's like my number one source of cardio. And I was like, okay, let me try that out. And he was like on the phone with me, talking to me while jump roping. Jumping rope.
Now,
jump roping. Either way,
he was doing that, and he was jump roping.
Yes,
but I tried to call you the other day too. After I had done some push-ups, and I could barely breathe. Yeah, and that was after. That was like 2 or 3 minutes after. So how is he doing this? How is
like? Yeah. So I'm like, GIF, how are you? Okay, so if he's having a conversation, then it can't be that bad. So I was like, let me just grab, wife's got a jump rope. Let me go out in the backyard and jump some rope for 15, 20 minutes. Not trying to do anything like, I'm not trying to go for an hour. Just trying to go for, just get in a quick break of sweat. I made it like 3 minutes and I was ready to die. I was like, I have to lay down on the cold concrete and catch my breath. And I was like, all right, this will take a little time and that'll be nice. And it was done. Toast. I was like, oh, now I gotta like do something else to get in my workout minutes. And that was not it. 1 out of 10 would not recommend until you get good at it, which I don't have the time and energy to do.
We should have a good chunk of new listeners here. And,
hey, welcome new people.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We really appreciate all the guys coming over from some other podcasts. We really appreciate that. And stick it out because we occasionally say something entertaining.
Sometimes, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, so Beekeeper, not a real thing, just a hazmat guy who got transformed. So it turns out the question was, does the Wanda bubble extend past the ground? Does it go subterranean? Turns out, yes, it does.
Yep.
And then pretty much sets us up for, I think Wanda's the bad guy?
It's starting to look that way, yeah. She's just taking over the whole thing to cope, it seems like. She's coping. She's living the life with vision that she wants to live instead of that one.
Oh my goodness, that freaked me out, bro.
This is for those of you just listening. This is an image of Vision with a hole in his head where the Mind Stone used to be, and
Right. He's all grayed out.
yeah, and his eyes are grayed out. Yeah, it's totally trippy.
Yeah. Yeah, when that flashed, I had the whole moment of just no thank you. So then that makes me think, is Wanda like completely powering him, or is it still just her version of him? Like, how much autonomy does have?
Yeah, is that like his empty vessel like still there? Or is it like leftover parts of Jarvis?
Is she just controlling him like a puppet, or is she bridging the gap between Ultron's programming, Jarvis's programming, and is she bridging the Mind Stone gap?
Yeah, what's weird about so far we've watched this and it really seemed like Vision has his own autonomy. This would imply the opposite. But if for some reason there's a little bit of Jarvis in there or Vision programming in there, that just makes you wonder, is this really what he's walking around as? Is he walking around as this Vision with no Mind Stone, and he's still Vision, but you know,
like every time he's changing to like his like Paul Bettany looking self, is that Wanda influencing the people who see him? Because I don't think it's him.
Right, actually transforming.
Back and forth.
He's really this guy with the hole in his head walking around.
Yeah, and just what everybody sees is whatever version Wanda wants them to see at that time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, we're learning that like her influence is even stronger than we thought, because not only is she basically bringing Vision back to life, maybe, but like people outside of the bubble are influenced. And then when things come into the bubble, they're automatically influenced. Like her power is wild. It's really wild.
Yeah, Geraldine literally got sucked in.
Yeah, sucked in.
Yeah,
and
then became Jane.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the beekeeper, he transformed, but I feel like mentally, I think he probably still was on his sword mission.
Yeah, mentally he probably was, and then I imagine since she rewound time or whatever, she kicked him back out the hole.
Yeah, what happened to that guy?
Yeah, we don't
never
really
see him get
the result
kicked
of
out.
it. Yeah, weird shit, man. Weird shit. And we're talking about WandaVision so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna talk about how I don't know how to relate this to reality other than like I don't know. What you were trying to say.
Use your words.
You were trying to say we should relate this to our real life somehow. I don't have one for this.
Oh yeah, no. You said something earlier about the Mandela effect.
Oh, that's where I was gonna go.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Yeah. So if Wanda's control over other people has retroactively influenced their memories, so they're seeing East View instead of West View. This is a similar situation that people are having that are experiencing the Mandela effect. So to catch people up to speed, could you explain the Mandela effect?
Yeah, basically there's what we think of as a maybe social consciousness has an idea of what a certain thing is, and it turns out like we're wrong. The easiest way to relate it would be with Nelson Mandela, and where the idea comes from is a large group of people thought Nelson Mandela was dead, and then he got released from prison, and people were like, oh, that guy's still alive? We all thought he was dead. And it makes people question reality.
Yeah.
I think the next most famous version of that is the Berenstain Bears.
Yep.
Which, if you go back, I think everyone in my childhood knew them as the Berenstain Bears.
Yep.
And if you look at the book, it is actually the Berenstain Bears. And we were all just saying it wrong. So basically, it's the monopoly rules. The monopoly rules of free parking.
Here's the deal.
Free parking, you're not supposed to get the money in the pot. But they're
telling us, Ben, that we remembered it wrong. But how can so many people be remembering it wrong? You know what I'm saying? And this is where all of this might actually be what's going on. WandaVision might be explaining what's happening. We all have like different reality bubbles. And we're connected, and we influence each other's reality bubbles. And me and you, we remember the Berenstain Bears. We might be in the same bubble or connected. Whereas somebody else remembers Berenstain Bears, and they're in a whole nother reality, like literally like a parallel dimension.
Right.
And
so the idea, we were all in a dimension where it was the Berenstain Bears. and then there was a deja vu in the Matrix. The cat walks twice,
Yep.
and they fixed it and changed it to STAN at the end.
Do you remember?
No, I think part of the problem could just be I don't remember the commercials. Were there commercials for like toys for the Berenstain Bears? Were there commercials for like their books?
I mean, we all had the book, right? Or knew of the book.
I couldn't read then.
But why are we all
attention to the AI or EI?
Do you remember the Monopoly guy having the monocle?
Yeah.
It never happened.
He never had a monocle?
Never.
What?
Look it up. And what's the other big one? Chick-fil-A. Remember it used to have a K?
No.
You don't remember that one?
Monocle's
Monocle's the big one. Yeah. Never happened. Looks like your mind melted.
Yeah, man. I'm seeing pictures of him with the monocle and without it.
With it?
Yeah, but is this a Mandela effect is what they're saying. So yeah, maybe we just took Mr. Peanut's monocle and gave it to the Monopoly man.
But why is it that they have to explain? You see what I'm saying? Like all of these results, that your search results, they're giving you the rationalization. Why do they have to give us the rationalization? Why can't we figure it out ourselves?
Oh no, nobody's saying that. I'm just seeing Mr. Peanut pictures and thinking, oh, he has the top hat and the monocle and the cane. So like essentially they're an incredibly similar character. Like they both have a top hat, they both have a cane.
Bro, do you remember the Monopoly piece, the top hat? Isn't that gone now? Like
is it? I know they redid some of them.
No, like it never. Like there's a Monopoly piece that never happened too. Like we're in another reality.
I'm also seeing the pictures of there's some activist who dresses up like the Monopoly man and sits in the background when people are testifying, when like finance people are testifying on like the Hill and stuff, and that is hilarious. I don't know if what that dude does is good or bad, but I think it's hilarious. More people should dress up like the Monopoly man.
Yeah, so it's equated to false memory in Wikipedia, so they've already declared it a false memory for you. But how can it be like such a wide?
How did free parking become a thing? Like it's not in the rule book anywhere that when you land on free parking you should get the money in the middle, but people all over the country use that as a rule of Monopoly. Blowing on the cartridge doesn't work for a Nintendo, but yet everyone does that. Everybody did that. Why is that? Because we're all simple people with lizard brains.
Okay, I'm looking now. Curious George,
curious little monkey.
Oh wow! Oh my God! You remember him with the tail?
I don't know. I don't think so. Did he have a tail? I don't know.
Depends on what reality you're in.
No.
Let's see what else. Yep. So I very specifically remember Monopoly Man having a monocle.
Okay. So I typed in Mandela effect into the Google, right?
Yeah.
The first thing that pop up is 40 Mandela effect examples from goodhousekeeping.com.
And then when you click it, I clicked it. There's
goodhousekeeping.com? Why them? Why are they the arbiters of the Mandela effect? Why are you the top rating on Google? What did goodhousekeeping.com do?
They just have more SEO juice.
Yeah. Okay.
The article's garbage. No, it's not there. Yeah.
Yeah, this monkey, I do not remember.
Luke, I am your father.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't... Yeah, he never says that.
You don't remember that? You don't remember Luke, I am your father?
I remember people saying it, but I don't remember it from the movie.
Okay. So you're like half Mandela affected. Oh, do you remember Smokey the Bear?
Yeah.
Not Smokey the Bear. Smokey Bear.
Oh, really?
Yep. Two guys Googling stuff.
Two guys Googling stuff. Whoa.
Ellis.
3PO had a silver leg?
You don't remember that?
3PO had a silver leg? No, I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. About the Flintstones.
When did apparently people misremember the Challenger explosion?
Really?
To like the dates. The number of states. Remember that? There were 52 states. You remember being taught that?
No, I've always known it as 50.
Why are you only half Mandela?
I don't know, man.
Do you remember Sex in the City?
I thought it was Sex and the City.
Yeah, it is now. Yeah. Oh, Febreze was spelled differently? Yeah, for sure. How do you spell Febreze?
F-E and then breeze.
How do you spell breeze?
B-R-E-E-Z-E.
Okay. Look it up. Google it. Type in Febreze.
Oh, is there only one E?
Yep.
In the middle?
Yep. But a lot of us remember, or a lot of us remember the two E's. Oh, Kit Kat, I remember that one. There was no space between it.
I think that's just.
There used to be a hyphen. Remember the hyphen?
Like brands and logos.
I know, but they're saying they're saying there's never been a hyphen. Oh, the Volkswagen logo. That one changed on me. The Volkswagen.
What's that?
The Volkswagen logo.
What's the deal with that? The VW?
Yeah, the VW, like
the circle?
Yeah, it was like one thing, and now it's like disconnected or whatever. It used to be like one
interesting
thing. That one changed on me. What's this about big? I just, this is fascinating to me because a lot of us have the same memories. Oh, life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between like us like having a firm belief in what a thing was, and then something like 𝗶𝘀𝖆, I think is just pretty innocuous of just, okay, we all understand that it's probably spelled this way, but nobody's paid enough attention to 𝗶𝘀𝖆 to really look at the logo. Does that make sense? Or Kit Kat.
Here's the thing about this is
maybe it's the childhood aspect that is, because 𝗉𝖆𝖆 is a children's book. Monopoly is a game that you play as a kid primarily. So maybe it's that.
Whiteout? No, this is new. You know how whiteout is spelled? Oh my God. I always thought it was just white and out.
Yeah.
It's WITE. No way. I don't remember.
Okay.
That's new. Like, this shit is weird, man.
Yeah, but that's a brand. So I don't know. It's calling every brand of tissues Kleenex. How many times did I actually buy whiteout brand of whiteout? And how many times did I just buy off brand? You know what I mean? I didn't buy that much to begin with. Just scratched it out like a normal person. Let me phrase that. Like a poor person. I don't have whiteout money. And I certainly don't have the time to let it dry.
I'm just saying, man, something is not what it seems. Like, the world can't be what they tell us it is. There's too many of these weird things.
Or we just have crap memories.
We obviously have crap memories, but there are certain things that stick with you, like Berenstain Bears. Like, why would that be Berenstain? Like,
right.
It's just, it's stuck with you. Right. Even now that you know that it's Berenstain, does that change your opinion of it? Or do you just think you misremembered? Because that's your strongest one, right?
Yeah, that's probably the most prominent one. Yeah, I think, I honestly, I don't know, because, you know, there's a couple of different things. Not being able to read, so having those books read by somebody else at the time.
But if they were reading it, they read Berenstain Bears, you know what I'm saying?
And it could be a thing where, were there commercials on TV where it was said a certain way? Also, us being in the South, could that have some sort of...
There's so many people, dude. It's not just...
Right,
just
I know it's not just us. I know it's not just us. But I'm just saying there could be some regionality to some of it.
Just, this brings up the idea that reality is much more fluid. It's just much more like, it's possible that shit just changed. And that shit is weird and scary, but at the same time, it opens up a whole world of possibilities.
Or
there's like a Wanda out there changing things.
No, I'm saying like, or it could just be that we misremembered and the collective consciousness misremembered a thing, like Luke, I am your father. In some movie somewhere, somebody said, Luke, I am your father as a joke, as a reference to Star Wars. And then that took on a life of its own.
But you have to think about how many times we watched Star Wars when we were kids. I remember rewinding that tape and playing it over and over. Like, how could that be? And that being one of the most pivotal scenes in the movie. And then it not being Luke, I'm your father. Now it's what?
Right.
No, I'm your father.
Yeah. You know, how many times when I was 12 did I watch Tommy Boy and Chris Farley's got his mouth in a fan going, Luke, I am your father. Like, how many times am I remembering that instead of...
So you're saying it overwrote your memory. And then this is even scarier though. If entertainment or what we consume media wise can just overwrite our memories, that's getting into scary land.
Well, yeah, no, our memories are fallible. Like, I thought I had a memory of a birthday party when I was 3 or 4, and it turns out that memory was completely constructed around a picture that was in our house. And it's just like the human memory is incredibly fallible. That's why like witness testimony doesn't always do great.
And this is how somebody was able to control an entire country and lead them to whatever genocide or whatever it was. All these terrible things is just from the media, just from the TV. So you got to be careful of what you're watching, I think, or at least try to zoom out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. There's so much wrapped into identity, wrapped into that kind of stuff that people have a hard time stepping back. We should all just step back.
Just take a step back. Take a deep breath.
Take a step. Just, hey, breathe with me. Let's just be alive together for a second.
Yeah.
Let's just feel it.
Everything's all right. And I know our new listeners are so excited to be hearing all this. Yeah.
You got a weird one.
You got a weird one. I feel like WandaVision just, it forces us to go into these weird places because it's so freaking weird. And it's like, I just want to talk about it and be funny, but this shit's weird. And like these concepts, exploring them in our own reality is also, it's not past me at all. And when we have things like the Mandela effect that affect a lot of people, it makes you wonder, is there like a Wanda or a device or something influencing the minds of everyone? Like what is happening here? Like, how is this even put together? You know what I mean? Is it what they say it is?
Yes.
You know? Okay.
Yep. Yep. It is. Yep. I don't know.
Nothing. You don't question reality at all?
Nah, not really. Not really. I don't have that kind of time.
We're on a spinning ball hurling through space.
Of course.
How convenient.
Sure. Whatever. I have it read up on the speeds. Enough scientists have come together to form a consensus. I ain't got that. I don't have the time to debunk that. So I'm just going to go, hey, you know what? You devoted your life to that.
Just so much.
Good on you. Good on you. You know what I can do? I can help you open a trampoline / amusement park. That's my area.
You heard it here first.
Look, we all got our part to play.
Yeah.
And I've spent a good amount of years in the outdoor.
You have an incredible amount of business acumen that I didn't realize you had. I'm very impressed.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like I thought I was out here in this like trying to entrepreneurial whatever. Can't even say the word myself. And entrepreneur. It turns out Ben himself is quite the businessman. Business.
I'm currently unemployed. There is that.
Yeah. And on that note, if you find this interesting at all or of any value, make sure you let somebody know. If you think it might.
Oh my gosh. Hey, tell a friend. And they tell two friends.
If it might.
And they tell two
friends. It might come up a little bit. You don't want to question their reality too much, but you think they're maybe watching too much news. Maybe have them zoom out a little bit.
Hey, zoom out. Hey, do it.
Yeah. Boy, I don't know. My life's so much better right now. Like we've been taking some like super high quality expensive vitamins, and like my teeth, they were like getting really soft and like getting to the point where like, I felt like they were cracking and I felt like they were going to fall out kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we got some like calcium, but from food, like from algae or whatever.
Interesting.
And if you take calcium with vitamin D and magnesium, your body absorbs it better. And like in 2 days, I can tell like my teeth feel stronger. It's amazing how resilient our bodies are. Like the fact that my teeth feel stronger, the cavity that I know I have, it doesn't bother me as much. It's just the things they tell us about food and oil. We were talking about that earlier. Like they taught us growing up vegetable oil was so good for you, but it turns out like it's terrible. It's just we're in an upside down world. That's all I'm saying. Like, and it's good to zoom out a little bit. Take a break.
Look, you wait long enough, that thing that was going to kill you is going to save you, and then it'll cycle back out at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know what this podcast is about. I mean, not much happened in this episode.
It was a lot of tying up some loose ends.
Here's the point of this episode is that it's a different point of view. It's zoomed out a little bit. It's right. Exactly that.
Yeah, and, exactly. It's an interruption of your regularly scheduled program.
Mm-hmm. True story.
Yep.
Wow. That vision image is just terrifying.
Haunting.
It's terrifying.
Haunting. Yeah. Don't leave it on that. Yeah, leave it on that one. There we go. Hey, just watching a little TV. You know what one of my favorite parts was isn't he dead? I've been saying that for weeks.
Isn't he dead? He's dead, right?
That guy died.
He died.
We saw that guy die.
He's dead. Yeah. They watched the same Avengers movie we did. He's definitely dead. Yeah.
Yeah. And they watched the same episode of Wandavision and they said the exact same thing that we said.
Make an excellent point.
Yeah. How are you still alive?
So we should talk about what do we have coming up? What is our plan here for this podcast?
Oh man, did you see they got they did like a little reel of what's coming up on some of the next episodes. Oh. And yeah, it's a lot of like quick clips, like quick cuts and stuff like that. There's going to be an 80s episode. looks like there's a Halloween situation where Vision is dressed up in his like old timey and then it looks like there is going to be a documentary style sitcom to the camera, The Office type show, which
great.
I'm looking forward to. And then it
Arrested
also looks
Development.
like right. It also looks like Vision and Wanda are gonna get in a fight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that or at least that's what they posed to us in that sneak peek.
Okay.
Yeah. So give that a watch when you get a chance.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have more WandaVision reviews coming, and then we also have some the Born Yesterday flashback.
Yes, the Born Yesterday episode.
You know what it's like to be in a local band back in the day.
It's like to be in a local band circa 2003 in the greater Louisville metro area.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. That was really fun.
It was good to talk to Mike. I've literally not talked to him since 2005, 7, something like that.
Yeah, he seemed pretty happy. Seemed like he's doing pretty good. Then
shout out to Mike, who does not listen to the podcast.
Yeah, that's funny. He wants to be on the pod. Yeah. Prerequisite for if you want to be on the podcast, you have to at least listen to one episode.
Just one. Don't tell us which one. It's our job to guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. And then so we'll have some more WandaVision episodes coming up. And I don't know. What are we going to talk about after that?
The BY episode. We got that Metallica episode just sitting around.
We got a Metallica episode coming out. One day we'll get... I've been lazy.
Only thing I remember is that I probably talked some smack about Lars. I think I had said Lars isn't a good drummer.
Yeah.
He's a fine drummer. He
plays better than me. Yeah.
Oh, he's a better drummer than I am, 100%. Yeah. But
we got what else we got coming up? Maybe we got some articles we're going to write. So don't be a stranger to isthisentertainment.com. Me and Ben going to write some, I don't know what we're going to write about, but what are we going to write about?
Who knows?
Something.
You know what? Let's not talk about it till we're ready.
What else? What are we going to do after WandaVision? We don't know.
We don't know yet. We still got 4, maybe 5 episodes of WandaVision. So
we got some old episodes. If you haven't listened to them, we got some about music.
We did a deep dive on Hootie and the Blowfish. Very important.
The episode.
Super relevant.
Yeah, totally relevant.
Yeah, we talked a little Beatles and Pearl Jam in our first episode. All of the Mandalorian.
That's what got this started. Yeah, our conversation with Beatles. How did we end up starting this?
We were like, hey, let's talk about one of my favorite albums and one of your favorite albums and see if it's entertaining. And that's how the name came about.
Right. Yeah, we didn't even have a name for a while. Yeah.
Nope.
Where are we? What planet are we on? This podcast has been sponsored by nothing. And what else?
I don't know, man. You watch anything interesting this week?
Oh,
other
yes.
than WandaVision?
Yeah. Imposters. It's on Netflix. It's a show about a con artist who marries people and then takes all their money and leaves them. It sounds terrible, but
that's mean.
And it is terrible and it's mean, but it's weird because you care about all the terrible people in this film, like in this show. Like there's an overarching bad guy that like has them doing it, and that's really the main guy that but it's a fun ride. It's really fun. Like it's comical. There's a lot of funny situations too that happen where they go back and like the guys that were conned, they all get together and to go and find the girl that conned them. Okay. Yeah. So it's it's a good ride. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. The main chick that seduces everyone is the girl from Lucifer, the girl that plays Eve. Do you ever see Lucifer?
No.
That's actually a fun show. I was so like turned off by the name that I didn't watch it forever. And then we finally watched it and I was like, okay. It's a good ride. It's not bad.
Yeah. Sweet.
What are you watching?
We watched Moana for the first time.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Good
times. That was fun. Yeah, that was fun.
Got Nicole
definitely. Yep. Yeah. Definitely made me long for the beach because it's January and
it's freezing
cold. So going to an island would be fun. And then great performances. That song has just been stuck in my head for 3 days now.
Okay.
Watched Willow last night.
Great film. Yeah, the effects are a little.
I mean, look, there's some effect stuff, and it definitely like borrows from a lot of other like fantasy type stuff.
Yeah, it's great though. It's a fun one.
But it's great. Yeah, Val Kilmer's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah, everybody's good. Everybody's good in that movie.
Yeah, it was fun. I've been listening to the Mikhaila Peterson podcast a lot recently. She's the daughter of Jordan Peterson, who's like a modern day like philosopher, author guy. So people probably heard of him. I don't know. He's cool. He's written some good books. But so his daughter does a podcast, and she's just had some really great guests on. She's had, yeah, you remember Tucker Max?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was just like terribly crude guy that like just took advantage of so many women and then wrote about it. And blogging was like for
yeah. He had that book that they turned into a movie.
Yeah. See You in Hell or whatever. Yeah, she interviewed him, and it's a great interview. And then she is interviewing like a bunch of like health people and nutrition people, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is serious. This is very enlightening when you find out like there was no real reason to say that high cholesterol caused heart attacks. Like all of these studies have inconclusive results. Actually, they're conclusive that high cholesterol doesn't equate to a higher amount of heart attacks. So it's like, what? So my mind has been blown listening to this podcast. It's pretty wild. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And any other shout outs we want to give? Shout out to Mikey for doing the podcast with us.
Oh, I listened to check out on Spotify. This is Dystorchestra. It is this. That's the name of the band. The album is called Deus Ex Machina 1.
Oh, okay.
And my brother played drums on this album. Made it like 4 years ago or something like that with some dudes. And it's like a real concept piece. It's got some like 𝗶𝘀𝖆 vibes to it. There's like a full blown story kind of deal. And the guitar playing on this album is stellar. Like these two dudes.
And if your brother's playing drums, we know the drumming is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's great. The guitar players just rip it apart.
So the name of the band is
DY. You know what? Here, let me. Orchestra. Yeah.
Dystorchestra. I'm trying
like dystopia and orchestra put together.
I'm trying to pull it up here so people can see it. Is this it?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Listen to this because now I'm really intrigued because Ben's brother is incredibly talented.
He's very good.
He's very good.
He's an amazing drummer.
He's sick. He's sicko mode.
Yep.
And he plays some music on his own too. Do you ever do like a solo thing?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I just wanting to press play on this. Is it awesome? Oh, I'm not locked in.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I listened to about half of it on the treadmill the other day, and then listened to the rest while I was cooking dinner. And now I'm super invested in the plight of the city of Arcadia.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So this is like a very. Is that what it sounds like? Does it sound like? I
would put it like
a 𝗶𝘁 and submethod kind of combination.
I haven't listened to enough 𝗶𝘁 to really to I don't know.
Heavy guitars and bass and drums.
Yeah, very heavy. It's the dude's vocals are a little System of a Down kind of.
So they're harder.
It's got some of that.
Okay. He still sings though, right?
Oh yeah. No, he definitely sings.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not growling or anything like that. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, shout out to Tim and Dystorchestra. I can't wait to listen to this. Yeah, and also give us a listen to we've got the Dual Paradigm, and we've got an old Born Yesterday page, which we'll have up soon. You can go to listen to some old Born Yesterday stuff. So all of our new listeners, we're in a music project called Dual Paradigm, and you can listen to our song right there on the Spotify's. And on the way out, I don't know which song. Maybe I'll play Dual Paradigm. Maybe I'll play that makes sense. I'll play the Dual Paradigm on the way out, and we played Born Yesterday on the way in. That makes sense.
Sounds wonderful.
And thank you, Ben. Thanks for doing this episode. It's been a fun.
Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate you.
And hopefully we'll have the Born Yesterday episode up soon. And thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it. If you're new to this podcast, please share it with somebody you think it will help out. And
do all the things.
And we'll talk to you next week and later this week.
Sounds great.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.